I didn't even like Facebook. I called it Fuckbook, the place you go to creep your exes and waste your time. But in 2017, something shifted. I was already using Messenger to close deals, to talk shop, to move energy. So I thought, why not take this thing and own it? So I did. I started Facebook groups, not coaching groups, not spiritual groups. No, I started resort, hotel, and excursion groups for hotels in the Dominican Republic. Built them from scratch, branded them, filled them, dominated every tour and travel group in the country overnight. Christmas Day hit and I flipped the switch. By New Year's Day, $87,000 in sales. From a Facebook group I had just started, I took the whole market. So fast, I started getting death threats. These local operators were losing their minds, trying to shut me down, smear my name, threaten my life. But you can't cancel a man who is the market. You can't stop the one who became the algorithm. I scaled the groups, grew the teams, monetized the model, then sold the whole thing off for a lot of money. And that was just chapter one. Then came the spiritual era. I met someone online, this so-called twin flame, complete BS, but we'll get to that. So I started new groups, massive ones, 8,000 members in a few months without ever trying to grow them. I never chased members. I built movements. I didn't beg for attention. I created gravity. Facebook saw what I was doing. They recognized me. They reached out, said they wanted to feature me, named me as a global game changer, turning a vision into a vibe, wrote an article about me, paid me thousands, took my methods, my culture, my blueprint. I've monetized every group I've ever built. Worked with photographers, healers, real estate brokers, influencers, retreat leaders, coaches, marketers, mystics, you name it. I've built for them, scaled them, left a digital trail of proof so thick, you can't miss me. But let me be straight with you, that twin flame stuff, yeah, I got caught in it for a bit. I went deep, too deep, trying to find the truth, searching ancient history, reading, studying, living it. But something always felt off. Then one day, God came for me. Not a cute little whisper, not a gentle nudge. He rattled the fucking room. I hear Jesus loud and clear. Ryan, he said. Ryan. He said, go outside, down to the ocean, in the Dominican Republic where I was living. The clouds parted like the sea. Spirit met me in the water, and Jesus, my Jesus, baptized me himself. I met the truth, not a concept, not a religion, the living one. I woke the fuck up. Everything I do now is built from that fire, from that awakening, from that spirit that took a kid who didn't believe in anything and turned him into a lion. And that is when the next wave hit. From the Unconditional Self-Love Twin Flame group, when I walked away from all that deception, I dropped one post. I said, while you're all waiting for your twin flames to get their shit together, I'm going to start a group called Awakened Souls Dating and Relationships, where conscious people can actually date each other. Boom. It exploded. Now we're sitting at 110,000 members, about to crack 111,000. And it's still rising like fire. People didn't want the fantasy anymore. They wanted clarity. Real relationships, rooted in healing, wholeness, God. So I gave them the place to meet. I didn't just make a group. I made a movement. And that's how Infinity began. I called it Become Infinity. It started as blueprints, divine blueprints, instructions from spirit, codes I couldn't ignore, but it didn't stop there. It evolved. It multiplied. One blueprint turned into a movement. One post turned into millions of impressions. One man turned into a system that now powers an empire. That evolution? It became Trinity, a platform, a path, a prophecy. Not just another app, the central hub for everything they said couldn't be done. And with Trinity came the MetaMasters, the system behind the system, the forbidden framework they don't want you to see. While the gurus were selling courses and pushing funnels, I was building a distribution network so powerful, Facebook had no choice but to bow to it. Now, I command over 70 groups on Facebook, millions of members, billions of reach. Entire verticals of influence under my hand. I've turned ordinary people into influencers, healers into household names, spiritual guides into 6- and 7-figure earners, because I don't play the game, I am the game. I took the platform they said couldn't be cracked, and I turned it into a kingdom. And the craziest part? I did it all without ads. No begging, no chasing, just straight alignment, precision, power. They thought it was luck, but it was always legacy. But let's get real. Behind all that, there was pain, there were battles. I faced many heartbreaks, got married, got divorced, traveled the world, lost pieces of myself, then found myself again. More importantly, God found me. And now, I don't believe in him, I know him. He knows me. This is what it's all been for. Where am I going with it? I'll come to that. But first, I've been held hostage in Thailand, kicked out of countries, lived in over 31 nations around the world, because I've always believed if someone's gonna run the world, shouldn't they know the world? How can you lead something you've never touched? How can you love people you've never lived among? The next era won't be led by empire builders who only know how to pillage and extract. It will be led by those who understand humanity, who've walked the dirt, seen the pain, and still chose love. That's why I started what I started. I was given the prophecy. I wrote it down. And every damn word has come true. I fought cancer. Should have been dead. Still here. Why? Because this mission will be completed. I work 160 hours a week. You know there are only 168 in a week? I operate on 8 hours of margin. Not because I'm superhuman, because spirit is that strong in me. Because the fire won't let me rest. I came here to launch the Infinity Wellness Genesis Centers. Free conscious community retreats around the world, where you don't pay to heal, you come home to yourself. A world where everyone has their needs met. Where people don't just survive, they awaken. They turn inward, they meet God, they meet the fire, they meet themselves. I came here to get you seen, to get you remembered, to etch your name in eternity. That's why I do what I do.